Hi guys, what is up and welcome back. I just wanted to share with you guys, it's 12:24, August 18th, so we just hit midnight, but and brushfuls. So for today I'm going to be speaking about the brand new Huda Beauty Wild palettes. So there are 4 palettes she recently released. We have the Wild Jaguar palette, which pretty much just includes your cooler tone shades, some mattes and some metallics. Next we have the Python palette. This one right here has like the blues, the greens, and a few neutral tones, actually really unique. Then I have the Chameleon palette here, which is more of like your berry reddish, kind of like purple gold type of palette. There's also another palette, the Tiger palette, which pretty much just includes like more of those like yellowy neutral tones, but that wasn't available on Sephora's site. So I just picked up what they had. I will have all these palettes linked down below. They are available on Sephora's site and they do retail for $29 each. So as you guys are probably able to tell, I have 2 different looks going on for me. I try to make this video as informative and as helpful as possible. So on one eye, I have one of the palettes, and then on the other eye, I have another one of the palettes. But yeah, I'm gonna share with you guys swatches too, and of course how I achieved this look. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and let's get started with the look and the swatches. So first up we have the Wild Jaguar palette. This palette right here includes 4 mattes. Then there are 4 metallics in here as well. The middle shade in here has a really cool like texture to it. I love that little detail. I would kind of describe it as more of like an iridescent, very shiny, like glittery type of shade, but it's not gritty. Next we have the Python palette. This right here includes 5 mattes. We get 3 metallics, and then with this one as well, the middle shade right here is more of like that textured, shiny, slightly glittery, very like wet looking shadow. Then we have the Chameleon palette, which includes 5 mattes, 3 metallics, and then with this one as well, you get that textured shade, but with this one, it's on the lower left part of the palette. And then with this one also, it's more of like a shiny type of shade, but I feel like this is more metallic than the other ones in a sense. I have my Perrier up on deck. This is the pineapple flavor. I recently just like tried it for the first time. So good. All of their flavors are top notch, amazing. For this eye right over here, I'm gonna be using the Jaguar palette. For the left eye, I think I'm gonna use Chameleon. I really love the tones in here. And then I'm not gonna use the palette Python. That's called Python because I'm gonna have 2 eyes, so I have to choose 2, you know? First shade I'm gonna go in with is this one right over here. It's a nice cream shade, and I'm gonna be using JH30, which is a nice big fluffy brush. I always say this, I always start off this way, but I love, oh, it picks up really nicely. I personally love using a cream shade to set my lid so that everything kind of blends out beautifully after. So I'm just gonna like swipe this on. The next shade I think I'm gonna go in with is this right here. It's a gray matte shade. Yeah, I'm gonna use it on the same exact brush. With this shade, I'm gonna sweep it in the crease area to build up a transition. It's very light though, so the type that you would probably have to build it up. I'm actually gonna build it up 1 more time, so 3 times in total, and kind of going up to my brow bone so it does peek through once I finish with this eye. I like this color. It blends it out really nicely, very quickly, no fuss. Next shade I'm gonna go in with is this brown. It's I'm gonna use the JH32 brush. Pack the shade on the brush, and you guys, like I mentioned in my other video, I like to only pack one side of the brush, not the other side, just because when I put it on the eye, it can get really messy, so I just coat one side. I kind of like situate it wherever I would like, and then start blending back and forth. So this is gonna go a little bit lower than the gray shade, but still somewhat in the same area to deepen things up. And then towards the outer part of the eye, I'm just gonna kind of like wiggle. I'm gonna take a little bit more to deepen things up. I don't know, for me, like usually when I do a look, it's usually go big or go home. Like I rarely do like very natural looks unless it's like for like an everyday basis and I'm just like throwing something on. But like whenever I do a tutorial, it always has to be the full shebang. Like, did I ever do a look where it wasn't the full shebang? I'm thinking, I really don't think so. We're gonna go in with this black shade to see like what it's about, because blacks are so beyond hard to do. I actually want to see if it's better than the Natasha Denona black that's in the Xenon palette. I'm gonna use an Earth R39 brush by Morphe. Whoa. Slightly nervous about this one. I don't know if you could hear the train passing. I'm sure you could. Anyway, with this, we're gonna place the brush where I want mainly the color to be at. And then this for sure you want to try to keep as low as possible because since it's the black, it could go wrong really, really fast. So I'm just gonna wiggle it out on the outer part of the eye, mainly. And then I'm gonna kind of sweep it inward a little bit. I'm gonna go back in with the bigger fluffy brush, the JH30, and blend this out a little bit more lightly, especially on the outer part, on the edges, so it's more seamless. I really, really like it, and I didn't even go in twice to create the depth of that shade. Really beautiful. The next shade I think I'm gonna go in with, I'm kind of contemplating between this one or this one. So let's go in with this shade. That one has like that textured look to it. So it's like a purple with like a purple with silver. Really nice. Yagsies. This is so beautiful. I feel like it's like a Halloween style type of look. Like these tones and colors are so Halloween vibes. Which I will have you know, my birthday is 2 days before Halloween. Just saying. Scorpio energy. And for the lower lash line, I'm gonna go in with the black. With this, I'm just gonna use a small shader brush and apply the shade on there like that. So I'm gonna go in right now a second time to build up the intensity. Wow, it's pretty intense. I'm gonna take like a clean fluffy brush and just blend out. I'm gonna put on some of this Pat McGrath liner and I'll be back with lashes and mascara completed for this eye. All right, so right eye is completed. Again, I added lashes, mascara, and liner. For the left eye, we're gonna use the
Chameleon.
Yeah, I'm gonna be using the Chameleon palette. Really thrilled about this one to see what I can come up with. So I already set my lids with the shade that was in the Jaguar palette. This shade right over here. The Chameleon palette doesn't have like a lid setting shade, I would say. That would be great for my skin tone, which is fine because I have the other palette, but just for reference. Okay, so right off the bat, I definitely see that this shade and this shade is pretty similar. I don't think it was necessary to, you know, put both in here, even though this is more pinky. Yeah, and this is maybe more peachy, but I still think they're so similar that maybe she could have included something else. So first shade I'm gonna go in with is this one, and I'm gonna use the JH30 brush. I actually personally love these tones. I love these peachy tones, orangey type of colors. I think that they are so beautiful. I think it built up pretty well. It definitely seems like it has more of like a redder undertone to it, but really pretty, and I like it. I think it's a nice one. The next shade I'm gonna go in with is this one. It's more of like a plummy-ish type of color. I'm gonna use that on the JH32 brush. With this color, I'm gonna put it a little bit lower, mainly focusing it on the outer part of the eye and then blending slightly inward. So with this one, I only built it up once, and I think it's perfect. I don't necessarily think I need to go in more. It's such a stunning shade. The next shade I'm gonna go in with is, I wanna say this brown color to deepen things up even more. With this one, I'm gonna use the JH33 brush, which is just a slightly smaller crease brush. Okay. Again, just placing the brush where I kind of want most of the color to be, and then from there wiggling back and forth, doing like circular motions, basically only in the outer part of the eye. And then once I feel like I distributed most of the color there, I'm just gonna swing it inward with what's left on the brush. I love these tones together, so stunning, and you could still kind of see the gradient effect, which I love. For the lids, I'm kind of not sure which shade I want to go in with. In a way, I want to go in with this just to kind of see how those colors pair well together, because I don't think I've ever done this kind of crease with this kind of lid shade. But then this color is also really pretty, even though it's like a marbleized shade in the pan, it's actually more of like a rose goldy reddish type of color. You know what, let's pop into this purple color. We'll just use that, see what's up. So I'm gonna take a little bit on my finger and I'm gonna apply it on the inner third part. It's actually applying really, really nicely. Actually, these shades go well together. I would never think of pairing these like mattes and like this purpley metallic shade together ever, But now that it's in here, I'm like, yeah, I can kind of see how they, you know, why they would look good together. Like it really does work. This is a great brush, by the way. It's the e.l.f. X Tauve Low brush. It's like a dual-ended brush. It's such a good one for applying shade on the lid because it really packs it on. I'm gonna quickly just take the JH33 brush and kind of blend so it's a little bit more seamless with no product, so it looks a little bit more like one. And then kind of push the metallic shade a little bit more towards the middle endish part. Okay, for the lower lash line, I'm gonna pretty much do the same drill as I did with this eye. I'm just gonna go in with this deeper brown color. I'm just gonna apply it on the lower lash line. And then like I did with the other one, I'm gonna build up to the intensity that I would like. And how I like to usually do it is I start on the outer part and then kind of swing it in. That's my new word, swing. Okay, once it's looking like this, pretty bad, I'm gonna take a clean brush and blend Eve. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put on some mascara, liner, and lashes, and I'll be back to do the inner corner and brow bone with you guys and let you know my final first impression thoughts. Okay, so I'm just gonna apply some highlighter on the inner part of the eye, like a unique type of shade. So I'm gonna go in with the gold from the Jaguar palette for this side. Just gonna apply it in the middle, in the inner corner. I just wanna pop up something extra. And then I think I'm gonna use this shade right over here. Some more copper one, I would say. Pop that in there. Okay, I'm not sure if that actually ruined the look or kind of tied in the look, but that is pretty much it for the look. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Now let me share with you guys what I think of the palette so far based on using these specific palettes for the first time, these two specific palettes for the first time. Can't really speak for the Python palette really, just because yeah, I haven't really used it, but hopefully in the future I definitely will. I'll keep you guys posted. I'm so hot, wow. Okay, so firstly, let's speak about the Jaguar palette. I really like this one. I think it was definitely like a super easy palette to use. The mattes blended in like 1, 2, 3, easy peasy lemon squeezy. The metallics were very vibrant, applied like with no fuss, and it was just like an easy palette. I mean, I feel like the mattes are not the smoothest ever, but they build up really well. They pair nicely together with each other. And it looks good. I mean, it's easy. So especially for these kind of shades, I feel like it's hard to do that with these, but I think this was fun to use. The metallics are, I would say, definitely much more creamier. Also very easy to work with, very vibrant. You don't really need that much to build up the color. You could use it wet. You don't really have to. And I mean, I'm impressed. I am highly impressed, I have to say. And I keep saying this with her 9-pan palette, she keeps getting better and better. This compared to the first two she released, wow, there's really no comparison. So even though this is made in China, the quality definitely seems really nice and just simple to work with, especially for such deep tones. Now moving on to this palette right over here. Honestly, same story with this. I feel like the shades were built up amazingly. They paired really well with each other. Really, really unique color story. Like you get your shades that like pair well together, but then you get your pops of colors as well. Like for example, this and then this. I would never pair with the like mattes in here, but I think it goes well. The only thing like I will say that like I said before, this shade and this shade just seems a little bit repetitive and a little bit redundant. So maybe another metallic would have been nice, or maybe a deeper brown, or maybe just maybe like a nice highlighty like white type of shade would have been nice too. If you have a lighter skin tone to kind of, you know, highlight the brow bone. But I really like this one as well. It was so much fun to use, really unique color story for me, and something that kind of took me out of my comfort zone. So I like it. I think it's really, really good. Okay, so I want to say that's pretty much it in regards to my final first impression thoughts. Of course, this is only my first impression thoughts, so I'm gonna use these more and let you guys know if it is worth the $29. I will say now that I have these palettes here, I feel like they are different compared to other palettes that I have from her line. Like even the Python palette, like it's a green palette, but there's still a lot of differences in here. So I don't think it's necessarily super comparable to like the Emerald Obsessions palette, you know what I mean? I definitely want to pick up the fourth palette, which is the Tiger palette. That's more of like a mustardy, yellowy type of palette. The color story, I think it's really beautiful, so hopefully once that's available, I'll pick that up. But I also did want to say in regards to the Jaguar palette, like if you were wanting like a cool tone palette, this seems like it really does everything for you, and it's fairly simple to work with. So I would say this seems like a real winner, but if you want to wait for my final thoughts, then definitely stay tuned. I'll keep you posted in my I'll keep you posted video, but I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, definitely let me know down below and I will try to respond back. But I would love to hear your feedback on these. Are these palettes that you're gonna pick up? Are these palettes you're gonna skip out on? Honestly, it definitely blew my socks off my feet, and I really just didn't expect them to be as good. But then, as I keep saying, I think she's just getting better and better, because I feel like at this point in the makeup world, in the makeup like game, whatever, I feel like there's no room for like just mediocre palettes, especially with so many amazing things coming out. Like, no brand I feel like wants to be left behind in a way. So I think she's doing amazing with these 9-pan palettes, and the Wild collection seems really cute. So anyways, I will see you guys in my next video. Looking forward to your comments, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.